Strategic Tools for Personal and Business Success. Today, we are going to look at one of the most powerful strategic tools. That is the art of infiltration. In the high-stakes world of strategy, one concept has proven timeless and universally effective: infiltration. From ancient wars to modern-day corporate takeovers, infiltration is the art of gaining entry into a target system or organization to gather intelligence, disrupt operations, or gain influence. Unlike direct confrontation, infiltration is a subtle tactic, allowing agents to operate beneath the radar, often until the point of irreversible advantage. But infiltration is more than just a tactic. It's a holistic strategy, one that, when applied effectively, can turn the tide of nearly any battle, be it on the battlefield, in the boardroom, or within the social structures of power. Let's dive into the why and how of infiltration, exploring it as a strategy, a tactic, and ultimately, a tool for winning. At its core, infiltration as a strategy is about the long game. It's less about immediate gains and more about achieving a deep, sustained presence within a target. The goal is to understand the internal workings of a system from an insider's perspective, giving the infiltrator valuable knowledge and influence that no amount of external observation could achieve. Consider classic military infiltration, where operatives are placed within enemy lines to gather intelligence, weaken morale, or sabotage key operations. This strategy enables subtle shifts in the balance of power, potentially altering the course of a campaign without ever engaging in open battle. The same can be seen in espionage tactics during the Cold War, where operatives gathered sensitive information that could swing the scales of diplomatic negotiations. In the business world, infiltration often comes in the form of mergers, acquisitions, or even moles within a competitor's organization. The goal is similar: to understand, manipulate, or even dismantle an opponent's strategy from within, gaining market insights that would otherwise be hidden. The strategic advantage of infiltration lies in its ability to undermine the target's sense of security. By the time the infiltrator's presence is known, the internal influence is so strong that the target often has limited means to counteract it. While infiltration as a strategy is the broad framework, the tactics of infiltration are the building blocks. These are the specific methods an infiltrator uses to gain trust, gather intelligence, and carry out their mission. Effective tactics can vary widely depending on the environment, but often revolve around a few core principles. Assumed identity. This is the foundation of almost every successful infiltration. Whether it's an undercover police officer adopting a false persona, a spy blending into a foreign culture, or a corporate agent adopting a role within a competitor's ranks, an assumed identity allows the infiltrator to avoid detection. Building and maintaining this identity requires deep psychological insight, as well as an understanding of the target culture or environment. Gradual integration. Successful infiltration requires a slow, steady approach to gaining trust. Rushing in would raise suspicions, while gradually embedding oneself in day-to-day operations helps avoid detection. In military contexts, this might mean small acts of camaraderie with the enemy. In business, it could mean forging alliances with key personnel over time. This gradual integration builds loyalty, often making others unwitting allies. Information gathering. Infiltrators must always remain vigilant, gathering details about both minor and major aspects of the target. These details, which might seem inconsequential in isolation, create a complete picture when pieced together. In corporate espionage, for example, one could note product designs, internal struggles, or market strategies, all of which contribute to a competitive edge. Sabotage and influence. The ultimate tactical goal of infiltration may vary, whether it's to disrupt the target's operations, sway decision-makers, or leak sensitive information. For example, infiltrators might subtly redirect efforts in a way that benefits their true allegiance, influencing outcomes without directly intervening. In military or political contexts, this could mean weakening morale or causing doubt among leaders. Exit strategy. Just as important as entry is the exit. A well-planned exit strategy ensures that should the infiltrator be compromised, they have a way to escape without endangering themselves or their mission. Without this, the infiltrator may risk being caught. which could unravel all the hard-won gains and compromise future operations. Why infiltration leads to winning. Advantages and psychological impact. Infiltration allows for winning by fundamentally disrupting the target from the inside out. By bypassing direct confrontation, infiltration minimizes the risks associated with open conflict. Instead of facing external attacks, the target faces internal uncertainty, destabilizing it from within. This method of attack creates a unique psychological advantage as well, leaving the target second-guessing itself and its environment. Element of surprise. The discovery of an infiltrator within an organization can have a demoralizing effect on the target. It shakes their confidence in their own internal processes and creates an atmosphere of distrust and paranoia. The shock of learning that someone they trusted was working against them is often more destabilizing than an external attack. Resource efficiency. Infiltration requires fewer resources than a full-scale assault. Instead of deploying vast amounts of personnel, technology, or weaponry, an infiltrator uses information and psychology to accomplish similar results. This approach is resourceful and sustainable, particularly in prolonged conflicts. Control from within. When embedded successfully, an infiltrator can influence decisions at a high level, ensuring that operations move in a way that suits their goals. This type of influence goes unnoticed, subtly shifting the balance of power. By the time the target realizes their vulnerability, the infiltrator has already altered the course of their operations. Insider knowledge. Knowledge is power, and infiltration provides an insider's view of the target's strengths, weaknesses, and most importantly, its blind spots. Understanding these details gives the infiltrator the power to act with precision, striking only where necessary and bypassing defenses that would otherwise pose obstacles. Lessons from history. The power of infiltration in action. Throughout history, infiltration has been at the heart of some of the most transformative strategic victories. The Trojan horse is perhaps the most famous example of ancient infiltration, allowing Greek soldiers to enter the fortified city of Troy and conquer it from within. Similarly, the Cold War was won as much by information gathering and espionage as by military might, with intelligence networks infiltrating government agencies and providing insights that shaped global politics. Even in business, stories of corporate espionage highlight the value of infiltration as a way to gain competitive advantage. Companies have been known to infiltrate competitors, gathering intel on product development or marketing strategies. This insider knowledge can spell the difference between success and failure in highly competitive industries. Conclusion. Infiltration as an unconventional path to victory. In a world where direct conflict often leads to stalemates or Pyrrhic victories, infiltration stands out as a more intelligent, precise approach. It's a tactic that takes patience, adaptability, and a deep understanding of human nature. It's also risky, requiring the infiltrator to walk a tightrope between success and exposure. Whether in war, politics, or business, infiltration remains a powerful strategy, providing a silent yet effective way to weaken and influence opponents from the inside. For those willing to learn its subtleties, infiltration offers a unique and potent method for achieving victory. By embracing the art of infiltration, one can navigate the complexities of conflict and competition with unparalleled finesse, winning not by brute force, but by mastery of the inner workings of power itself. Infiltration has long held a place in the pantheon of powerful strategies, blending patience, precision, and psychological prowess. Unlike direct confrontations that leave chaos in their wake, infiltration operates quietly, slipping beneath the radar to weave its way into the heart of a target system. From the legendary Trojan horse to modern espionage in both boardrooms and battlefields, infiltration is a tactic of subtle dominance, one that achieves victory not by the loud clash of arms, but by the quiet collection of secrets and influence from within. As a strategy, infiltration excels at gathering intelligence, undermining morale, and shifting the balance of power with minimal resources. It creates an insider's advantage, a way to see the enemy from their own perspective, gaining invaluable insights into their vulnerabilities. The infiltrator learns the language of the enemy, builds alliances, and establishes a presence that often goes undetected until the scales have already tipped. In military, political, and business contexts alike, infiltration allows for the ultimate edge, controlling the opponent's decisions before they even realize they're being steered. The essence of infiltration is its long game, a slow and steady approach that builds influence, trust, and eventually control. It's not merely a tactic for winning. It's a masterstroke of psychological warfare, transforming the enemy's confidence into doubt, sowing seeds of disarray long before the final blow lands.